Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. Welcome to another Twitter space of CharmVerse. So, CharmVerse, for those not familiar, is a Web3 community platform for managing members, coordinating tasks, facilitating decisions, and holding each other accountable. Members sign in with crypto wallets and gain access via community tokens and NFTs. And it brings together onboarding, payment management, proposals, project trackers, and data repositories in one place. I'm Xandra, your host and the community manager of CharmVerse. And today we are joined by Julian and Chris of Unlock Protocol. Hey guys, thanks for joining me.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Hello. Chris and I spoke a little while ago when we were first talking about Unlock. Julian, I haven't had the chance to speak with you, so very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
And I'm excited to share Unlock with our listeners today. So, Julian, you are the founder of Unlock, right?
I am, yes,
and
absolutely.
Chris, what is your role over there?
So I head up all things marketing here at Unlock. So a little bit of content, a little bit of brand, a little bit of this, a little bit
Wearing
of that.
Lots of hats. I know that feeling for sure. Well, so let's dig into it. Julian, since you're the founder, why don't you tell us what Unlock Protocol is all about?
Absolutely. Well, so you mentioned what CharmVerse is, which is basically managing memberships and communities. Unlock is a protocol. It's the underlying layer that does enable application like CharmVerse to actually exist and use the membership concept to the protocol level. My background is I'm a software engineer. I'm coming from the open web world. I really my previous company was doing RSS feed APIs, and I don't know if people know what RSS feeds are in the audience, but that's a core building block of the open web. If you listen to podcasts, this is all powered by the same standard, the same protocol, which is called RSS, really simple syndication. That company was sold to Medium, the publishing platform, and I worked for Medium for about 2.5 years on a lot of different things. But one of the things that I worked on was I don't say migration, but the move away from the idea that Medium would ever monetize with ads. We tried, and it was a nightmare, to the idea that Medium would monetize with attention, with a membership, instead of attention. And so if you use Medium these days, you know that there's ways as a writer to put stories behind a paywall, and then if you write there, you could get a share of the money that people pay on a monthly basis. But I realized this concept of membership, which again Medium was pretty early on, is something that we've seen over and over in the last few years. So Substack is another good example of this. Patreon is an example of this. YouTube these days is a way to support per channel. But even beyond that, like the large media platform like New York Times or Washington Post have their own memberships. Netflix is a membership. Spotify is a membership. And so I realized the concept of membership itself needs to be standardized, needs to become a protocol, for lack of a better word, because I think that's the right way of thinking about this. And that's what Unlock is. It's a way for communities, creators, brands to deploy a membership contract and then use that membership contract on platforms like CharmVerse or any kind of application they would want online.
And so what does this membership look like? How is someone utilizing this membership?
Yeah, so it looks like, when you say looks like, it actually doesn't look like anything. It's code, right? It's a smart contract on a blockchain. We're currently deployed on 8 different networks. Ethereum mainnet, obviously, Polygon, Gnosis Chain, Optimism, Arbitrum, Celo, Avalanche, and Binance. I don't know what the name these days for the Binance chain is. So we're deployed on all of these. And really, as a creator, when you deploy your contract, first of all, it's really your contract. It's not, you're not using somebody else's contract. You're not, sharecropping. It's your contract. You have the full control over this. And then you set the terms for the memberships on this contract. So you would set, how many members you want to have, obviously. You would set the price of a membership. And you can set that price either in the native token on the chain that you're on, or using any ERC20. So you can use stablecoin. You can say, okay, my membership costs $10. You said also something that is very unique about Unlock is the duration of each membership. So membership can be valid for, a week, a month, a year, 5 seconds. I don't think it makes a lot of sense, but that's an option. And so you set these terms. You also set cancellation terms. You also set transfer terms. all of the things that you would do if you're a business and you were selling a membership, you can do with your smart contract. And then once you have the contract, that's when you can bring it to application, and that's where it would start to visually look like something that people can use to access content, to have a little badge around their name because they're a special kind of member, access features. So there's stuff that is not allowed unless you have the right membership in your wallet.
So are we talking about like an NFT?
Yes, that's the keyword. I didn't mention it because it's obviously I should have mentioned it, I guess. It is an NFT. So each membership is an NFT. We're using ERC 721, which probably people are familiar with. It's one of the two big NFT standards, and it's probably the biggest by far, I'd say, these days. And yeah, it's an NFT contract like you would find, online. And I see a lot of people have NFT avatars right now on this call. So you're pretty familiar with that. It's perfectly vetted, but it has a lot of features on top of the base 721, including the expiration dates for the memberships.
So I think this is important because, we have Web3 skeptics or new people to Web3 that are thinking NFTs are just a digital collectible. I don't understand why someone would get one of these. And so I really love talking to projects like Unlock because you're giving utility to these NFTs. And I think that resonates with people more, right? They understand the idea behind it.
Absolutely. And honestly, these people couldn't be more wrong, to be honest. If you think about it, it's like saying, if you say an NFT is just a picture, it's like saying a website is just a logo, right? It's like, well, Facebook is obviously way more than a blue logo, or Google is way more than a logo with 4 colors, I think, or Apple is way more than a logo of an apple. And so it's thinking an NFT is a picture is doing the same mistake. It's kind of funny to think about this, but that's a mistake that a lot of people do. In practice.
Agreed. And that's why I think it's important. The more NFTs and we see the utility behind them, we talk about that because I think people understanding that it's a membership badge or a key to a space, if we're talking about CharmVerse too, right? It's giving you access to something. So you give us a nice overview of what Unlock is doing, but let's break it down a little bit more. So who is Unlock protocol for?
It is for what we call creators in the broadest sense. So it's for individual, YouTuber. It's for podcasters. It's for bloggers. It is for organizations of people that work together around the same theme. So you can say, my local soccer club here in Westchester could be using Unlock because the membership that you pay to have your kids play to the soccer club could be powered by Unlock. It is for businesses that would want to have some kind of membership program. And we probably all know of Amazon. Amazon has an amazing membership. It's called Prime. And that's probably the biggest in the US by far at this point, or one of the biggest. It is for brands of all kinds. You can say, okay, sometimes when I talk with non-crypto people, I tell them anybody who has a Facebook page should have a membership contract. A Facebook page is basically, a place where you can have people just show that they like and click the like button. Well, the same thing could exist outside of a big platform if you have your own membership contract, and then people are able to claim one of these NFTs to show that they like, and I'm making air quotes here, the brand or their organization.
So from individual creators to entire communities, you can be using Unlock protocol.
Absolutely. But it can also be organizations that are temporary. So for example, a lot of people use Unlock for ticketing. Might sound weird, but a ticket to a conference or a ticket to a concert is a membership for that specific conference or that specific concert. And it is token gated. Try to go there without a ticket, you won't be able to get there. So practically speaking, yes, it would work for organizations that are doing events, for example.
Fantastic. So you mentioned that you are able to set an expiration date, just kind of like other memberships you would have, right? To the gym, there's an expiration. Actually, maybe not the gym because they just want you to keep paying even when you don't go. But
practically speaking, there is an expiration, right? If you stop paying, it's going to die. And so the expiration is every month. It just gets extended. It gets renewed every month. So it expires every month, except that obviously since your card is being charged, it gets renewed and extended by another month or another year, depending on when that happens.
Yeah,
does that make sense?
Absolutely. So let's use creators as an example. This is a great way for creators to then collect revenue, right? With an NFT membership or subscription, which is kind of a game changer, right? It's a great way for just them to collect that revenue on a regular basis.
100%. That is definitely one of the big, as you said, game changer. Like our thinking is like, as a creator, first you should be able to monetize on your own terms, and so you have your own membership contract. You shouldn't be forced to a given pricing or given terms by any platform. And then maybe more importantly, you should be able to move from one platform to another, from one place to another, without losing your members. If I have, I don't have, but if I had 1 million followers or members on YouTube and I decide to all of a sudden start, using Twitch to stream content, well, I have to start from scratch. These members are only YouTube members. They're not really members that I can bring with me to other platforms or other places.
They can move with you now. That's great, right?
Exactly
because
right.
People build up this following on Instagram. They don't necessarily want to move somewhere else because they already have all these people following them there. So this, again, game changer. What
Absolutely.
about billing cycles? Are you able to set up a billing cycle however you want, or is it kind of like a yearly thing, monthly thing?
No, it's really up to you. So it's like, as I said, right, it's a protocol so that supports anything. You can make it so that you charge me $1 every minute. I might not be paying for this very long, but that would be an option. So really, you as a creator pick your duration, the base duration of the membership, and it can be, as you said, a month, a week, a year, 10 years, or 5 minutes. And then you also get to pick whether you want this to be renewable, whether people are actually approving, 12 months, so that every month, like your gym membership, it doesn't actually expire. It gets automatically extended by another month.
You're really just making it easy for people, right? You don't taking kind of the thought process out of it. Oh my God, thought process out of it, which is helpful. There's
Absolutely
so much going on every day. It's really nice to just set it and forget it.
It's exactly the goal. It's like, can we make it so that people don't have to think about this? And it also doesn't act as, again, a locking mechanism, something that would just force the creator, the organization, the community to be stuck on a specific platform at any point.
Chris, jump on in. What were you going to say? I think he just had his hand up.
And Chris, you're on mute. I don't know if he's doing a Julian. That's what we call this internally.
Well, Chris, jump on in whenever. He might have gotten sidetracked. So let's say I'm a creator. I have people, I have members, these memberships, right? These NFTs. How am I distributing these NFTs to my followers?
Yes. So there's two ways. And it's kind of the same for any NFT, right? On one side, people can mint for themselves, and we call that purchase, because more often than not, there would be a price that they have to pay to be able to mint. Or you, as what we call the lock manager, the organizer of the contract, can airdrop to people. So in the first case, you just put it out there, you share a link with them and say, hey, look, purchase my membership. They click the link, they connect the wallet, and then they pay the price, and they claim or purchase the NFT from there. Very similar to how you would do that for your gym membership from earlier, or your subscription to an online game, or any of that. On the other side, the airdrop is you, the organizer, say, hey, okay, I really want Chris to be one of my members. I know his wallet address, so I can airdrop it to him. I drop the NFT to him, so I can basically just put his address on the smart contract to be one of the person that should have one of these NFTs, and I can set an expiration for that as well. Or we even introduce the ability to do what we call walletless airdrop. So it's basically an airdrop. There's an NFT, but it sends an email to Chris and say, hey, Chris, this is your NFT, but we don't know your wallet. So click that link so you can actually claim it into your wallet. At that point, the NFT exists. If Chris doesn't have a wallet, the NFT still exists. There is no, it doesn't disappear or any of that. But Chris gets the option to claim it into his wallet if he wants to.
So is it I click on that NFT, is it going to kind of guide me towards MetaMask to help me start setting up my wallet?
So the idea here is it would be if you already have a wallet. We don't have right now the onboarding steps, but yes, the idea is that down the line, it would actually, and that's part of the UI that we haven't built yet. It would help you set up a wallet. It would be a MetaMask, or it would be a Rainbow, or any of these, so that you can claim forward.
Perfect. So I feel like another great feature that you implemented that is going to help these creators, we lost Chris, is to help these creators really run their business and generate revenue. You're also giving them access to records of each transaction, right? Both on the creator side, but also on the side of the person purchasing.
Yes. I'm not sure where you're going for that. So it's all happening on blockchain, right? So it's like, yes, you have access to all of the transaction. You can easily inspect all of that and know exactly what's going on, know why somebody's not renewing or, any of that
But
information.
also just expense-wise, I guess I was thinking, just like expenses or taxes and stuff like that. Those transactions, proof of that,
yes.
or the records would be helpful, right?
Yes. So as I said, all of the information is absolutely on chain, so you can actually easily see that. What we shipped about 2 weeks ago now is the concept of receipts. It's a nice looking receipt where you have, instead of just having hashes of transaction which are not easily digestible by most accounting software, you would have a way to put first name, last name, email, business name, VAT number, and information, and then creates a proper PDF receipt that you can get for your accounting or any of that to prove that you made a payment for a specific, ticket or membership to a group or license for a piece of software.
Okay. Chris, you're back.
I am, yes. I shamelessly blame Elon for it. Space has just stopped working for me. So I'm like, okay, I'll restart it.
We'll go with that. We'll go with blaming Elon. You had your hand raised earlier. I don't remember what exactly we were talking about. I don't know if you remember and want to chime in with something.
Yeah. Was thinking through some of the, the other type, folks were aware of. When we talk about memberships, there are a lot of different aspects to that, and being a protocol, Unlock supports all of those. So we've talked about memberships as creators. We've talked about events and ticketing a little bit. Some of the other types of things that we're seeing as memberships as well are, we talked about subscriptions a little bit. Taking
Chris, you're
and getting certified for that. We're starting to see groups chain as well. So it's, really, if you take a little bit of a half step back and think about what does it mean to be a part of something or have access to something or be able to prove something, these are the types of things that we can think of as different classes of memberships that Unlock can get built into.
Yeah, thanks for diving into that a little deeper too. And yeah, no need to raise your hand. Feel free to jump in whenever you want. Let's talk about some of the membership contracts. So users create their own membership contracts. Are they getting guidance from Unlock to do this?
Yes. So as I said, we're protocol, so we care really, really about the core of the smart contracts, but we also built on top of it what I call usually a convenience layer, an easy way for people in a no-code way to get started. So, for example, deploying the contract, instead of actually tinkering with code, we have a form that you can complete. You would set the terms that I discussed earlier, and then you press submit, and your wallet prompts whether you want to deploy this, and you say yes, and boom, you're done. But really, again, that convenience layer is something that anybody, any dev, any kind of application could build inside of their product. So, say you have already a kind of a social web product and you want to allow people to have deploy their own membership contract, you should be able to do that without actually sending them to our website. Actually, would not want you to send your users to our website. You can have your users deploy their contract from your application. Similarly, we provide a ton of tooling to configure the contract, but also configure the metadata on the NFTs. This is obviously all configurable directly with the smart contract, and that's really some of the things that we're trying to make easy and no code for people that want to get started without actually having to write code. But our goal is to have this be done directly by people inside of their own applications.
Fantastic. I do want to shout out that CharmVerse, for our listeners, CharmVerse does support Unlock contracts as well. So you can set up Unlock and put the the contract right into our token gate. So happy to be integrating with you guys for sure.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, and that works natively.
No,
yeah,
go
ahead. No, I was going to say, and that works natively. Hopefully, the next step at some point is that you'll be able to deploy the contract straight from CharmVerse, and you don't need to know about unlock at all. You need to know that it's powered by the protocol. In the same way that when you create a web page on some CMS, like Squarespace or any of these, you don't need to know about HTTP. They provide you with the tooling to actually create these web pages that are under the hood using HTTP as a protocol and HTML as a protocol. And it would be the same with unlocks. Like you use CharmVerse, you're able to deploy your membership contract straight from CharmVerse, and it just works out of the box without you having to worry or care about the fact that there is unlock behind the hood.
Right. We don't necessarily need to understand how it works, right? We're letting you guys
Exactly
do the heavy
right.
lifting so we can kind of just plug and play. Perfect.
Exactly right.
So while you're helping us form this contract, the creator still owns it ultimately, right?
Absolutely. We have zero control over the contract. The contract is owned by what we call the lock manager. And the contract is called the lock. I should mention this. Maybe I should have started with that. The contract is called the lock. The individual membership, the NFT, is called a key. And obviously, the contract is owned by and only by a lock manager. The lock manager is the person who deploys it first. But what's interesting is like they can nominate, I guess. They can appoint other lock managers from there. So you could have multiple people managing the contract. So say maybe on the team there is 2 people that need to manage the contract. It's perfectly possible.
Okay. And how about once these are set up, can I modify that contract, or is it kind of like this is it?
Yes. No. So what we said earlier about the NFTs, right? Like one of the misconceptions I think about NFTs is the idea that it's immutable, it can never ever change. In some cases, obviously that's useful and it's important, right? You talk about collectibles and piece of arts. You don't want them to be changing all the time. But at Unlock, we think about changes in 3 ways. First, we think of them as being what we call updatable. So you can change the price. At some point, say my membership is $5, next year is going to be $6. Well, that should be possible. So that's an update that you would make, and only lock managers can do that. So you can update the contract to now change the price or change the duration or change the supply. Any of these you can do. Obviously, this is transparent. Everybody knows that you change it, but you can do this. The second step is what we call programmable. So the contract itself has the concept of hooks. There's the concept of, hooks, callbacks, so that you can execute different kinds of things when something else happens inside of your contract. So you can say, for example, when somebody buys, change the price. And so you make something like a bonding curve where anytime a new membership is sold, the next one is going to be more expensive. That's perfectly doable with our hooks. Another concept that we have after updatable and programmable is the idea of upgradable. So it's a smart contract that uses a protocol. The protocol itself might change. At some point, you might say, we want to introduce a new feature to the protocol to bring privacy. I don't know. At that point, if the protocol evolves, you as the lock manager can decide to opt into that new version of the protocol. And it's, again, you only can do that, but it's an option to be able to kind of move forward with newer versions of the protocol. Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have
go
these.
Ahead. No, please.
I was going to summarize. So we have these three concepts: updatable, programmable, and upgradable. So these are the 3 things that we're thinking a lot about.
I love it. You're simplifying the process, and I love talking to the minds behind this because it makes it easier to kind of break down the concept and digest it when you're talking about it. At least for me, rather than reading through it.
Thank you for saying this. I appreciate it.
So I saw, and bear with me again because these might be the same thing, but I saw a feature that is open source, community governed smart contracts. Is this different from a membership contract?
Yes. So the membership contract is the thing that you deploy and it's fully yours. The idea, though, is like, as I said, it's a protocol. And so if at some point all of the people that have deployed membership contract want to change how this works and say, I mentioned the privacy example a couple of seconds ago, say we want the protocol to now support XYZ, which is a new privacy technology and blah, blah, blah. Then they can collectively, say, okay, we'll improve the protocol, we'll add a new version. And then each of us, the people who have deployed lock, can decide to opt in for that new version. And so that's really kind of the core idea behind the fact that a protocol shouldn't be owned by a company. It shouldn't be owned by us. It is not owned by us. As a matter of fact, there's a DAO, and anybody with deployed membership contract is welcome to join the DAO and then decide how to improve or upgrade the protocol from there.
Okay. Thank you for breaking that down. I wasn't sure if that was a silly question for you.
No silly question, for sure. It's all complicated stuff. Like we're already pretty deep in the weeds, and I'm grateful that we're going there. I know it's complicated stuff, so I really appreciate you going down there.
Julian, I thought maybe you had a time constraint today. Do you need to dip out of here at some point?
Absolutely. I'm going to have to drop in about 2.5 minutes at this point, but I have 2 more minutes, and then Chris is around as well.
All right, we'll take it. Okay, so people are creating and setting parameters around their membership contract through Unlock. Are they also able to create the membership tokens or NFTs through the platform as well, or are they doing that somewhere else?
So, as I said, on the platform, so there's 2 ways these are created. Either they're being purchased or they're being airdropped. And yes, the platform, we provide a basic UI for people to do airdrops from there. And so that would be possible. But again, no need to use our platform, right? It's something that could happen through CharmVerse or other things. I actually don't know. I don't think CharmVerse has the ability to do airdrops, but if CharmVerse integrate Unlock, you guys could easily add the ability for people who have deployed their contract to airdrop a specific NFT to a member.
And what networks are you currently compatible with? I know you mentioned some, but will you just say them again for any latecomers?
Absolutely. So first one, mainnet, that's our historical one, the first one that we started with almost 4 years ago now. Then we have Polygon, Gnosis Chain, which used to be called XDAI. We also have Binance Chain. I'm trying to do them in order. Then we have Optimism, Arbitrum, Avalanche, Celo. And I think that's 8. We're going to announce, that's 9 or 8. 8, I think that's 8. We also have 2 test nets, Gertie and Mumbai. And we will announce another production network in the next few days.
Fantastic. So should I let you go now before I get into another question?
That'd be fantastic.
Julian, I'm so glad that you could join us for a little bit. It was a pleasure to meet you. And I hope I get a chance to work and speak with you again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for having me. It was a blast. And I'll leave you in good hands with Chris.
Listeners, I'm really sorry we had to cut it short. Please check out Unlock Protocol. They're doing really cool things in helping Web3 creators, communities, brands, and developers own and monetize their content. You can get NFT memberships going through them. So please check them out at Unlock Protocol on Twitter. And their website is unlock-protocol.com. If you want to visit their website, super intuitive. And like I said, really just trying to help Web3 creators grow their communities and monetize their content. So definitely worth checking out. Fantastic brand. And yeah, stop by next week. We'll be talking with Tropy. And thanks for stopping by today.